Welcome to the show. This is Farce Nation. I am your host, Jahi Harvey. With us today, I have a lot of friends of the show and some new folks. In the lower right-hand corner, we got Jada. She's a mother, wife, world traveler, self-proclaimed wine connoisseur and foodie. She's overly opinionated. She's a socio-political commentary novice. She's not completely angry as a Black woman, but she is pretty easily pissed off. Welcome back to the show, Jada.
Thank you for having me back.
In the upper right-hand corner, we have Amanda Griffin. She's currently an HR specialist for the Defense Logistics Agency. She has a master's in human resources from Wilberforce, 13 years in the Army National Guard. And of course, she is past-worthy matron of Grace Chapter 100. Welcome back to the show, Amanda.
Hello.
And we also have with us Ann Stagg. They're a sexual blogger, author, and poet. You can find their essays on erotica, sexual wellness, and kink, and social justice at AnnStaggWrites.com. Their Mound of Gaia erotica fantasy series is available exclusively at Balesa.co. They host Fet Chat at Fet Chat on Twitter. Their weekly Twitter chat is about safe, sane, and consensual BDSM and kink practices. You can follow Ann on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at AnnStaggWrites. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm so glad to be back.
Oh, thank you. And last but not least, in the lower left-hand corner, we have Lauren Burnett. Now, Lauren Burnett is a licensed cosmetologist and owner of Color Whipped Hair Studios in Youngstown, Ohio. Lauren is a master when it comes to color and natural hair care, and she's definitely on the rise. With her funky style and Hollywood swag, she plans to bring a new and fresh feel to the city. Lauren, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you.
I love your hair.
Yeah,
your hair is stunning.
Very much.
She gets it in. So with that, welcome to the show. I guess I need to start with the most recent news that we all know. Amanda's already smiling. So
I called it. I mean, I already knew. I knew because of the fundraising that she did, the amount of press that she was getting, things like that. It was kind of down to between her and Susan Rice. And I kind of figured he was going to lean more towards Kamala because of her Senate time. Susan Rice didn't have that. I mean, she brings a lot of foreign policy to the table, but really and truly, Biden has a strong foreign policy background himself. Like I said, I knew it was going to be Kamala because they might not like her, but she could get the votes that he needed with the Senate. And you know, the vice president runs the Senate. So
yeah, and I think there's possibly a thing too. If they take her from California and the governor is a Democrat, they can replace her with another Democrat pretty easily.
And they know that another Democrat can run and most likely win.
Right. So there is that. There are a lot of people who are, well, there's actually some, conservatives that I've heard say they like the fact that she has the law and order background. What are your thoughts on the other side of that pendulum? Do you think that there are people who may be turned off or put off by that? And what is your response to that? I'll let you go first, Ann.
Okay. You know what? I think there are going to be some people turned off by it, mostly because they're not looking at her service as AG. When she was AG of California, she had a very specific mandate to follow. And I think they're going to look at her law and order work.
Right.
I think that there are going to be people who are going to judge her very harshly for that, probably more harshly than if she were a man, and especially more harshly than because she's a woman of color. And she does not mince words pretty much about anything, which
and
is
I think you do have a point there. I've already heard angry, too ambitious.
Yeah.
And that's not something you readily hear about men who are also ambitious. Like the things that we look at as strong skill sets in a man, are seen as weaknesses or threats coming from a woman.
Right. She's worked very hard. She has done a fantastic job in the places she's done. Are there things that she's done that I don't necessarily agree with when it comes to social justice and incarceration in her time as AG? Yes, but I also respect that she had a job to do.
Right.
And she had a balance to strike. And I think, if anything, that is something that is really important for somebody who's going to be in that position of vice president. There was somebody, I have to look it up, there was somebody who wrote an essay about her.
Yes, I know exactly.
You know what I'm talking about?
It was the guy who ran against her for AG.
Yes.
And he lost. Yeah, he tried to call into question her citizenship.
Oh, Lord. And that's another thing. When is the other time you saw that, and what did they have in common? I mean, let's really call it like it is. I mean, you had a president. They got the last president before 45. They called into question his citizenship, and he just so happened to have a funny name and an extra and 2 scoops of melanin too. So I mean, I'm just saying,
but yeah,
there might be a little bit of a coincidence there.
Yeah,
because they couldn't deny that she was born in Oakland, California.
Right.
What they're calling into question is that her father was born in Jamaica and her mother was born in India. And they're saying that if they were not considered naturalized citizens at the time of her birth, that she wouldn't be considered a citizen.
It doesn't matter. That's why people come across the border to have babies every single day.
Man, you know what they have? I think it was they have something. I mean, there are even first world countries that they have, like, I forget what they call them, like birth vacations. Well, where they will travel to the United States to give birth just so they can have dual citizenship. So, I mean, stop it. Did they say that about Ted Cruz? Ted Cruz was born in Canada, right?
Yeah, they went after Ted Cruz, and Ted Cruz was actually born in Canada.
What are you talking about?
Right.
So, Jada, what are your thoughts?
Well, I've been pretty vocal online. She was not my first choice. My concern is that this United States is not ready to swallow a Black woman on the ticket. And my greatest concern is to get Orange Julius out of office. So Biden's going to get my vote if he got Yosemite Sam as his running mate. But what I'm concerned about is
Yosemite Sam.
Right, exactly. Yosemite Sam.
He's Jewish.
But my concern is these people that are on the fence, a lot of these white women and kind of middle of the roaders in the South that think only a man can do it, or at the very least, a white woman would have been a lot easier for them to digest. I just think that they're going to alienate a lot of people by having, one, a woman of color, and two, this woman of color because of her law and order background. I think a lot of Black people are turning on her because of the whole 3 strikes you're out. Like you said, Ann, she definitely had a job to do. She didn't make up the law. She just enforced it.
She just executed it, right?
Exactly. But those who were affected or who have family members who were affected were like, oh, she's part of the problem. She, turned on her own people, that kind of thing. My thing is, and I've said this 1,000 times, we live in a 2-party country. I don't care about the independents in the middle of the road. Everybody gets 1 vote. And you pick a side, vanilla or chocolate, white or black, male or female. I mean, you only get 1. So if you throw it away on Orange Julius and we get another 4 years of the same BS we've been dealing with, you have nothing to complain about because it's only going to get worse.
Now, Lauren, I know you hear a lot, in the beauty salon. What is the general outlook that you've been hearing about Biden in general? And, have you heard anything about Kamala Harris and the partnership that they kind of struck up?
Really, what I've been hearing a lot of is like the presidential race is a big joke right now. So it's like we got Kanye somewhere in the mix. And now we have Joe Biden. Now he's like, oh, you know what? I'm trying to win the Black vote. So he kind of had that. What did he say? You're not Black if you don't vote for me.
Yeah,
or something?
right.
Right.
And then it's like, why would you even say that? Then it made it worse that he picked
it didn't
her
need to
up.
be said.
Right. I'm just saying some stuff we could have went without. And it's like, picked old girl up. So now it's like, this is getting stupid. So what they did say was, now that we have that all going on, nobody is taking them serious. That's the problem. he's banking on winning at this point. He's looking like the only person that, I mean, even though he's horrible, but everybody else around him is like kind of like a little circus going on here. So we're in financial crisis already as it is. On the business aspect, that he's probably going to win another 4 years. So this is what I'm hearing from like everybody, white and black. It don't matter. Like everybody's saying that Trump is staying in office.
That's the stuff that concerns me. Like I'm on the same page with how Jada looks at it. I mean, when I was younger, I used to look at third parties and say, you know, well, if that person didn't earn my vote, well, I'm going to go with the guy that I like the best, even if that means that he loses. And the older and more cynical and pragmatic I get, the more I look at it and really, you know, I've come around on that idea of throwing a vote away, especially now. And I think it's because, you know, we have a once in a century pandemic. Mm-hmm. Trump is doing some wild, like, I mean, sending soldiers and troops in the cities and rounding up people without warrants and Mirandas. I'm saying, like, I mean, you know, Rome didn't fall in a day. It wasn't built in a day, and it didn't fall in a day. You know, so I look at it and say to myself, you know, could we stand another 4 years, and what will that 4 years look like? If he's willing to do the wild stuff he's doing in the first 3.5 years in office, like, I don't even want to see what that last 4 looks like. We had a once in a century pandemic. The Black unemployment rate is, you know, in double digits at this point. Like, there's just so many things that are bigger than to morally sit back and let Rome burn. So, you know, I am definitely in the book. Like, I would vote for the crock pot that burned the family and the family house and This Is Us at this point. If it was running against
Kanye, like, it can't get no worse. Like,
yeah, right.
Go ahead and put him in there.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, and you're right, Lauren. There are third-party candidates out there, and I actually have friends that are like really thinking about going and voting third party, and it doesn't make any sense to me. You know, and this is how you know it's a problem. You know it's a problem when Jared Kushner is meeting with Kanye to help him start his campaign. Bro, he's the guy.
In the birthday party?
Yeah, for the birthday party. Or the lady who was just Trump's campaign manager in one of these states, or one of Trump's campaign officials, and I think it was Minnesota. Now she's on Kanye's campaign and trying to get him on the ballot in one of these swing states. Like, you know what it is. All he has to do is get 2% of the vote to swing a state.
Yep.
So,
like we talked about the last time we were on, that man is mentally unstable. Like, card carrying, we know he has mental health issues.
Which one?
So Kanye.
Okay.
But Kanye is, you know, diagnosed card carrying. So why would anybody like throw their vote away for him? Just, I don't understand.
There are people that are on board. Like, I know people who had said, you know, I talked to them and they're like, yeah, if Kanye runs, he's got my vote. And I'm like, for what? College dropout.
Yeah, right.
Don't get me wrong. College Dropout is a fire album. I love it. But you're not going to get the vote for the presidency, you know, off of Jesus Walks. It's not going to happen.
Well, they keep saying that he's ineligible to run in certain states because he missed the deadline to apply to even be on the ballot.
And I don't think it's so much likely that he would be a candidate so much as he would definitely be a spoiler. Like,
yeah, I was going to say, I don't think he could ever win. He ain't going to get enough majority of, especially of the Caucasian, Southern, conservative.
Yeah, that won't happen.
Evangelical vote.
But the crazy part about it all is, at least like him and Trump are the same guy. You know what I mean? Yeah. The difference is, at least Kanye West has a banging discography. I'll give him that. So now when it comes to the mail, and, you know, they're here in Ohio, they're saying that they don't want to add extra drop boxes because they know the GOP will sue if they make it more convenient for you to do your, you know, to turn your ballots.
Yeah.
To me, it's just crazy. Like, they've dropped all the, you know, all the pretext of it's about safe and fair elections. Like, if you know you want it to be safe, you would allow drop boxes, but you don't want it to be safe. You want to win. You know what I mean? And it's really about voter suppression more than anything. You know what I mean?
I said I'm putting on a hazmat suit with an oxygen tank strapped to my back, and I'm going to the polls. Damn it! They not.
Yeah. I
Me
look at
too.
it. I look at it and say, like, I already turned in my application for the absentee ballot, and I'll just drive in the middle of the night sometime when I know there won't be a line and put it in the one down at the primary place. Like, you know what? I'm not waiting till November. Like, soon as they send it to me, I'm gonna fill it out and send it back. So there won't be a line when I drop it off. But you know,
though, even if you do the dropping it off, there won't. Yeah, but I'm afraid they'll never count it. I want to go to the actual poll and pull the button or whatever it is.
Then see, that's my fear about this election, is that even if we allow the mail-in votes, I believe that they're going to try to delay the counting of the votes until the last possible minute. So we might not even know who's president on November 3rd. We might not get that.
Oh yeah,
they said we most likely won't.
Yeah.
They said it'll most likely be about a week before we know.
Right. Well, and
which is crazy.
The problem with the mail, the other problem with the mail is that Trump and his cronies are working very hard to have states declare that any ballots that were mailed before the election but received after the election are invalid. I mean, it's one of the reasons why they are essentially just destroying the post office to slow the mail down.
Yeah, they're actually getting rid of like machinery.
That he's appointed over the post office that has.
Yeah, and that he got stock in like Amazon and other postal services. He knew he was supposed to get rid of that before he even got the job.
Yep.
Yeah, they said. I saw a guy say that that's like a point making the guy that runs Kentucky Fried Chicken the head of PETA.